All right, Shalom. Giving our praise and glory and honors unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and best to the hopeful elect. This is another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And this is an article I have from amny.com, which says Biden orders nearly 3,000 U.S. troops to Eastern Europe to counter Russia. Right? So, the closer in conflict these nations get, the closer we are to World War III. Now it says the United States will send nearly 3,000 extra troops to Poland and Romania to reinforce Eastern European NATO allies in the face of what Washington describes as a Russian threat to invade Ukraine, U.S. officials said on Wednesday. Russia, for its part, signaled it was in no mood for compromise by mocking Britain, calling Prime Minister Boris Johnson utterly confused and ridiculing what it said was the stupidity and ignorance of British politicians. Moscow has massed more than 100,000 troops near Ukraine's borders. It denies any plan to invade its neighbor, but says it could take unspecified military measures if its demands are not met, including a promise by NATO never to admit Kyiv. War. The war drums are beaten, okay? And as the scripture says, these things must come to pass. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull a scripture. All right. Let's go to I'll go to Luke. Let's see what Luke 21 says. Okay, let's go to Luke 21. All right, Luke chapter 21. All right, this is Yahweh Shah speaking. I'll start at verse 7. It says, and then they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? Now, the ones that's asking him are his disciples. Okay? And the disciples asked, and what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed that ye be not deceived. So don't be tricked in the last days, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and the time draws near. Go ye not therefore after them. And there are a lot of Israelite groups out there, right, that say that they are anointed with the truth, but you aren't to follow them. All right, Sakari is one of those groups, okay, because they deny Yahweh Shai, all right, saying that he's not to be worshipped, among other things, a part of the scriptures. Okay? It says, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. And this situation with the U.S. and Russia and NATO and the Ukraine is a commotion that's stirring up talks for war. So we aren't to be terrified of these things. It says, for these things must first come to pass. So first we got to hear about these things and go through them over the years, right? But the end is not by and by. Okay? So we're not at the end yet. All right? It says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We're seeing that. Okay? It says, and great earthquake shall be in diverse places. Right? Now, so let's go to this article here that I got, and this is from the State, okay, which is an article here in South Carolina. It says more shaking in Columbia area after South Carolina's 12th earthquake of the new year. All right. It says, did you feel it? Another earthquake was confirmed in the Midlands Wednesday morning. All this is from the news on Wednesday. 1.5 magnitude earthquake was recorded near Elgin, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It hit at 12:39 a.m., the South Carolina Emergency Management Division said. The earthquake or aftershock that was recorded at a depth of 3.9 kilometers or about 2.4 miles was the 12th in the Palmetto State since the start of the new year. Okay, according to the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, 11 of the quakes have been in the Midlands. All right, so That's earthquakes right there. 12 of them. All right. Now there's another one. Let's see here. I believe this is from the same day. Yep, February 2nd. Magnitude 5.1 earthquake shakes Cyprus. No damage reported. Nicosia, Cyprus. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 5.1 shook the small island nation of Cyprus on Wednesday night, the country's Geological Survey Department said. No damage or injuries were immediately reported. The tremor struck at 11:04 p.m. and its epicenter was 53 kilometers, 33 miles off the island's western coast at a depth of 24 kilometers, 15 miles. The quake swayed Cyprus's western district of Paphos and was also felt across the East Mediterranean island. So, you had 12 earthquakes so far this year, in just in the U.S. and South Carolina, and then across the world, you had a 5.1 earthquake in Cyprus. All right, and that's near Greece. All right. So there's your earthquakes in diverse places. All right. Let me go back to the scriptures. It says here, Luke 21:11, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences. Okay. Now dealing with famine, let's see here. I wanted to get this because this kind of connects what I just said a little earlier, right? This is from January 30th, 2022. It says Ukraine war would threaten regional and global food prices. Okay, so that would lead to famines and a food shortage, lack of bread and things like that. Okay, it says a potential war between Ukraine and Russia provoked by the United States and NATO, and the economic disruption it would inevitably cause would have a disastrous effect on already rising regional and global food prices. Ukraine, long known as the breadbasket of Europe, is expected to be the world's third largest exporter of corn and fourth largest exporter of wheat for the 2021-2022 harvest year, according to the International Grains Council. So what does that spell for prices that's coming over here? What does that mean? Okay, you want to see corn going up, okay? Maybe by a couple dollars. All right, even though we produce corn here in the United States, all right, other goods we see could be offset, with their prices. So it says, in addition, the former Soviet Republic of 40 million people is also a major exporter of barley, sunflower oil, and rapeseed. Russia, meanwhile, is the world's largest wheat exporter and is expected to export 36.5 million metric tons of wheat for the 2021-2022 harvest year. Any of the crippling sanctions that the Biden administration is threatening Russia with would prove disastrous for global food prices by further limiting the supply of wheat and grain. All right. So this is what we're looking at. We're seeing all these things tie in with the prophecies that Yahweh Shai spoke about. Okay. All right. And we're in those times now because we're telling you before these things happen. These things, like Yahweh Shai said, must first come to pass. The troops, the talks of war, the commotions, the earthquakes in diverse places, all these things have to take place. Okay? All right, so I'm going to read verse 11 again. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences. And pestilences, what? The increase of this different variant and that variant of what we already know is already out in the world. Okay? It says, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven, right? Which we've seen a lot of different chariot sightings. Okay, me and the Apostle Carl, we saw a couple chariots last week. All right. Check something. Okay, the microphone's still on. I just want to. Okay. So, matter of fact, I think I recorded that video, so I might put that video up because me and the Apostle Carl saw a chariot. All right. couple chariots, matter of fact. So, we're seeing signs from heaven. Okay, all this is happening day by day. Okay, it says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands upon you and persecute you. Right, and that happened back then with the apostles, and that's going to happen in these times. It says, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons before being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, and this shall turn to you for a testimony. Okay, so we are testifying through the spirit of prophecy, pursuing the Revelation 19 and 10 of the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. Okay, settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what ye shall answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And that's because we speak in the name of the Lord, and we speak his prophecies, and these things have to happen. So I just want to bring that out through the spirit. I hope that was edifying. All praises, all glory, all honors going to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.